I was going to work on a different video and art piece altogether. Halfway through it, I ended up pivoting. Sometimes different ideas play a tug of war on you, and it's either that I'm quick to shift and adapt, or have some sort of ADD where I let life pull me in all sorts of directions. I can get distracted easily, but I also can forget everything around me once I'm knee-deep in a project. Total tunnel vision. Are you like that too? I took the day off and broke from my usual routine, convinced my husband to do the same, so we could see a morning matinee movie at the theater. It had been a little bit since I'd last gone to the movies. The last film I bought tickets to see was Aronofsky's Caught Stealing, which was a good time. He's one of my favorite directors. And I guess in October, I also did see Crispin Glover when he came to town and performed his spoken word and movie screening for his latest project. I really love his spoken word performances. I've seen them a couple times, and I even got to meet him, which was a dream come true for me. But yeah, I guess that would be the last time I went out to the movies. I usually host movie nights at home. I go all out with a spread of some kind, food, refreshments. Sometimes the delicacies are themed. I host bad movie nights too. Those are always fun. But I adore old films, a lot of 80s and 90s stuff, indie flicks and cult classics. I am obsessed with movies and have been since childhood. My husband and I even dedicated a room in our house and built a media library, movies and music. There's so many movies I rewatch every year and so many more on my watch list. It'll be a mountain I'll never conquer and the most enjoyable to climb anyway. I adore movies, the romance in getting lost in a story for 90 minutes or more, a ritual I found to be not only an entertaining distraction from the world, but a place I could always go to have that sense of comfort. It's just like story time when you were a kid. We went to my favorite theater, an over 100-year-old movie house with gorgeous Tiffany lanterns and old carpet. I had been looking forward to the release of The Bride, a movie written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, starring Christian Bale, another favorite of mine, and Jessie Buckley, who I didn't know well, and she's just a powerhouse of a presence. She takes up the silver screen like a bolt of lightning. I don't know enough about her, but I'm sure in a few years she'll be a big star if she wants to. Personally, I thought Annette Bening stole the show despite her limited screen time. I forgot she was Annette Bening. She was just so amazing in the role of mad scientist. I think those were my favorite parts of the movie, whenever she was doing her thing. Now, before I continue on, if you haven't seen the movie and you plan to, maybe just mute my audio or come back later and finish this. I don't want to ruin anything for you. Part of the magic of seeing a new movie is the way it unveils itself to you. You can never have that first time with it again. I'm not even sure I have spoilers coming, but I will talk about what I loved and what I didn't like. I'll break for a moment with Pepper while she eats baby carrots, and while you decide if you want to continue. Yeah. The visuals. This movie was a stunner visually. Beautifully shot, filmed, kind of reminded me of the look of those John Stejka, Lane Smith picture books. Lots of movement, moody and hyper-realist. A gothy fairy tale. The stairwell scene where Ida falls at the very beginning of the film is pure gold. I could feel the cracks and breaks and impact, and my eyes could not look away. I'm sure I was wincing while my eyes also grew as big as tennis balls to take in the beauty that was this shot. The laboratory set in Chicago, beautiful too. Definitely paying homage to the old films and the 1935 Bride of Frankenstein. Practical effects, built sets, lovely. Makeup, amazing. Christian Bale's prosthetics were awesome. Not cheesy at all, they looked absolutely painful, and he was able to act through all that stuff on his face and still give a nuanced, emotive performance. I think I was most excited by the bride's makeup, which is in the end what drove me to make this video and this reimagined movie poster. I adored it. It's iconic already. That and the overall pace and tempo of violence. The way she comes out of her moment of reanimation is grotesque, funny, charming, and as real as something like that can be, I imagine. Her peaceful beauty while dead, juxtaposed with her violent reincarnation, gurgling, spitting, vomiting herself back to life. The awkwardness is charming, and Frank, aka Frankenstein, his intrigue for her and curiosity and fear is layered and subtle. He, like us, doesn't exactly know what to do but watch. Their chemistry was pretty good between the two leads. It felt like it was just starting to blossom. It grew as time went on, and I think that makes total sense with the story. It was a very Bonnie and Clyde style affair, what with it taking place in the 1930s and them being on the run from police, which was the result, in this case, of a violent series of crimes they committed in order to survive and protect each other in a cruel and unjust world. I'm not a huge fan of gore, but the gory parts in this movie were well done and not gratuitous. There's a lot of moments when Ida gets taken advantage of, and so the plot is driven mainly by Frank's reaction to that and his natural inclination to protect her from the monsters of society. There is a punk rock aesthetic to the movie too, which is what I love about Maggie Gyllenhaal's style. She makes Frank and the bride's relationship feel a little bit like Sid and Nancy, and I'm more referring to the movie starring Gary Oldman rather than the real-life couple. And if you've seen Poor Things with Emma Stone, there are some similarities there. She's brought back from the dead and starting from scratch in a fully formed adult body and very much rediscovering who she is and having a second chance at life to discover and pursue her own wants and needs as a woman. It's definitely not like Poor Things in a ton of other ways. I much prefer The Bride. I thought Poor Things was a bit gratuitous in length and substance, though beautifully filmed and stylized also. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is Maggie Gyllenhaal's Barbie, like a deranged and blackened goth Barbie. She's created for Frank, abused by men, but chooses her own path of autonomy in a rendered and highly stylized world. It has a very strong message about the inequality between men and women, but I appreciated that Gyllenhaal's film never felt preachy and as overt about it. Now, I really like this movie. It inspired me visually, obviously. But overall, I think it had some problems. The plot was choppy, spasmodic. It would get going and then jolt to a halt with too many distractions and diverged so often from the action storyline that I thought I might have gotten whiplash. The Mary Shelley parts where she delivers her soliloquy were filmed really beautifully, but were also a little much. I enjoyed Jessie Buckley's performance, but the Tourette-style possession of her through Mary Shelley felt intrusive and at times irritating. Maybe that's how it was supposed to feel, and it was difficult to understand her rants from just an audible standpoint. I couldn't understand half the things she was saying. I think it worked better in concept. If you see it, let me know what you thought about this. Were these parts difficult to understand or at all annoying to you? Maybe it was the way it was cut up. Maybe it didn't know if it should be a movie or a play. Either way, it seemed like it could benefit from another round of editing for better flow. I could dissect this further, but my piece is done. I do recommend a watch. I do prefer my movies to have substance over style, but I think this film had both, just heavier on the style is all. It was told originally, it was fun and ambitious, and I think that's what I love about it most. I really like how this poster turned out, and animating it was fun too. Did you see The Bride? Do you love movies? Tell me everything. Cheers.